Hi, welcome back to Simply Magnificent Black and Bold. Today we have the opportunity to have Mama Castro on the show. Is today's episode is called "We're going to be rooted, ready, and radiant: A Black Woman's Health Deep Dive." So it is the end of the year, and hey, Toya, we want to say thank you
Hey.
for coming on the episode, and just thank you for being here and being one of the listeners, and also just being here. So you can introduce yourself and tell us what you do and who you are. Yeah.
My name is Latoya Castro, aka Mama Castro, and I am the owner of Earthside Harmony, which is a doula business. I provide birth and postpartum support to families, and among other things, I'm a big advocate for us in the birthing space, being educated. Been doing this for 6 years now, and just grateful to be having these conversations and the
I
opportunity.
love that. I
So
love that. So we have had Toya on the show before, and as we said, we just wanted to jump into it. So as you know, women's health in general is important, but more and so Black women's health. And we want to make sure that every woman knows. First of all, you need to know your health situation, whether it is if you need to work out, drink more water, or whatever that is, and how that looks in your capacity. But Latoya's specialty, like she said, she does do pregnancy. She's a doula. So being a doula, what are some of the things that you see? Like, I'll say, what are your whys of being a doula?
So definitely from my own personal experiences, but I would say the biggest thing was realizing how much our stories could change through the power of education. I
Mhm.
sat in a room with 20 women of color. In my training, 18 of the women had traumatic experiences in their births, near death experiences. And that's when I just kind of realized this is way bigger than I really um, thought it was, and how
Yeah,
it made my mission more important. Because if you got 18 out of 20 women having horrible experiences, that's a big
that's a lot.
problem. And
Yes.
some of the women had never even expressed out loud their birth stories. And so it
Mhm.
also showed me that we had so much to heal from. They was internalizing it, thinking it was something about them. But when you sit, it's like, hold on, that happened to her too. That happened to her too. That happened. You realize, no, this is a big problem.
So,
So
so sitting in that room with the 20 women, like, were they all one color, or was it just like
they
it?
were all women of color. So we might have had some. It was a range of cultures, but they were all women. We were all women of color,
Understood.
and the two that had positive experiences had home births.
Ah, nice.
Had
So,
home births. And
uh,
so, but the stories are real. What's happening is very real. And so that's why it's just really important for us to just understand we got to do something different. We have to do something different.
yeah. So like the ones that had the home birth, what was some of their positive things, or what were they saying that made it like not so traumatic? Like what are some of the things
Well,
that some of your patients
so
would say?
being somebody who worked with a home birth midwife, when she started, it was just her and I for a whole year. Um, First of all, I would say they would take more ownership of their journey
Yeah.
because they don't want to risk out of not having their home birth. So
Yeah.
they are more on top of their health. They're moving, they're eating properly and things like that because they really want their home birth. So there's more of an ownership of the journey.
Yeah. I
Secondly, it's very unnatural to have to go anywhere in the laboring process.
mm,
So if you're laboring and you're thinking, is it time to go to the hospital? Is it time to go to the hospital? Is it time to go to the that's not a normal part of the laboring process.
mm,
So just being where you are going to birth and don't have to worry about going anywhere, that is another releasing factor that makes it
yes.
a better experience. And I will say that if you're having a home birth, you probably felt more heard. The midwives probably understand and practice with like, little interventions and things like that. So it's just a all around better experience.
That's beautiful. That sounds a little more relaxing. I know that's one of the things when anything you need to relax breathing and different exercises and stuff like that. So when you have like home births, um, is there anything, I guess, for the listeners to know, like how they could possibly contact you or any information if they would want to take a class from you to kind of start that home birth? Uh,
So definitely. So you can always reach out to Earthside Harmony for resources with that. But my childbirth boot camp, that's
yeah.
like people swear by it. That's literally all you need.
Okay.
So I tell people like this: everybody's taking classes, everybody's doing, what the doctors and stuff is saying. How is that working out for us? Why are these labors so long? Why do we have the stories that we have? And so I had to stop and think. I had to stop and look at what the body is doing at each phase of the journey
Okay.
and figure out how do we support the body for the work that it's doing. For example, first trimester, your baby is a dot. Like it's nothing, right? This is
Right.
all chemical things, it's hormonal things. It's like, so, your body is not actually doing any work. Versus if we go to the third trimester, your baby's going to go
Mhm.
from 2 pounds to whatever their birth weight's going to be. For some women, that is 10 pounds. So
Yeah.
in that trimester, your body is doing the absolute most work that it is doing the entire pregnancy. So how do we support the body for the work that it's doing? You do that
Mhm.
by preparing in the second trimester
Okay.
for the
Okay.
work of the third trimester. So like my moms know, second trimester, we are flooding our body with nutrition. We're prepping our body for the work that it is going to be doing in the third trimester. That's why so many women find problems towards the end of their pregnancies, blood
Okay.
pressure going up, swelling, all these things, because their body's literally running on fumes at that point.
Because it's near the end and you didn't build up
You
to
didn't
that.
build that up, right? So then when the
Okay.
body has
Okay.
to do the work, instead of you going from a surplus to like baseline, you're going from baseline to depletion. And your
Sheesh.
body's
Okay.
gonna give the baby what it needs. So
Mm.
for you, what that looks like is deficiency. So like the mom, I just had a birth the other day, and I was on the phone. She just got back home from the hospital, and she was like, "Yeah, I can't believe it." She's like, "I'm almost finished bleeding." She's like, "I feel really good." She just because this was her second one, and she was like, "It was just so different this time." I'm like, it is different when you prepare the body for the work that it's doing.
Right.
We haven't been taught how to do that. Even in the laboring process, we've been taught how to labor wrong.
Yeah. It's just
Absolutely
like get it
wrong.
and go. Get. Oh.
Well, the thing about it is nobody is looking at root causes of things. So our
Mm.
system is all about, oh, this is how you feel. Let me give it a name, and we just gonna live with it, right? So, for example, if a mom says, my back is hurting, oh, my back is hurting so bad, they're gonna say, oh, you pregnant, it's your third trimester. That's just how it goes, right? And then they start that waddle and all this stuff. No, that's not normal. I'm gonna tell
Oh
you, go get a
no.
massage, go do pelvic floor release exercises. Da, 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 da. I've had moms call me to say like their baby's breech, right?
Mm.
So the doctors will want, their solution was to give her epidural and try to
Mm.
manually turn her baby.
I've
Okay.
heard that.
So
Yeah.
I asked,
Yeah.
I said, okay, let's stop and think. Why do you think they're gonna give you an epidural? They need to
Mm.
relax your muscles. So let's go.
Mhm.
Let's go. I said, this is what I want you to do. I want you to go get a massage. I want you to do some pelvic floor release exercises and some stretches. Went back to the next visit. The baby's in the proper position. I said, but what did they want to do for you? What did they want to do
Ah,
for you?
give
So
you
they don't
medicine.
understand the communication of what the body is saying.
Yeah.
So even with like blood pressure stuff, it's usually like mineral deficiencies.
We have definitely listeners. When I say Latoya, she's definitely has helped me with my blood pressure. Definitely that. Like when she listen to what she's about to say, because we've had this conversation, and like now my numbers are down. I've been drinking.
Yeah.
Be like, my dandy light
Dandelion.
root tea and
Mhm.
hibiscus tea. Now hibiscus tea
Yes.
I get with, but that
Yep. It's all right though. It's
it
doing what
it
it need to do.
it does. It will definitely clean your system out. And I drink I actually have like 2 to 3 cups a day, and
Yay.
it's pretty good. So that's why I'm like, and I work out too. I work out more. And as y'all saw, so Latoya definitely listen to what she got to say about her teas and hit her up. Just yeah,
Yeah.
I swear by that.
I mean, it's
Definitely.
really really real, and so
Yeah.
and that's the biggest thing. The mom for like I love when moms. Of course, I don't want any mom to have a horrible experience, but they're usually
Mhm.
contacting me because they've had an experience the first time and they don't want to experience it again, right? And so
Yeah.
I have to tell them all I need you to do is completely trust me. Just do everything that I'm telling you to do, right? And when they
Mhm.
do and they come out on the other side of it, they are always amazed. Like, this is how it's supposed to be. Like, this is what it's supposed to
Mhm.
be like. Girl, I had a mama have a baby. As soon as the baby come out, she gonna look at me and talking about that really wasn't that bad. I said, girl,
She like, oh, I want another one. Let's
listen,
go.
they listen because even when they taught us how to labor wrong. My
Yeah.
mom's labored
Yeah.
gently. We labor
Yeah.
gently. They don't do all that work. We don't need to do all
Mhm.
that work. The body does the work. That's what I'm saying. Like they don't understand the body. They don't understand what a laboring woman looks like,
Yeah.
and they don't
Yeah.
know how to really support it. Everything, literally, they have got us fighting our bodies,
For
the whole
everything.
process.
For everything, because that
And
that's
it's
what, like,
so
when you said
different.
that, I think about, like, my best friends that have had babies, and they talk about, like, things that like you said, traumatic experiences of having to go back to the hospital after having the baby, and it's like, but they were supposed to check this before. They were supposed to make sure you were stitched up correctly. They were supposed to make sure you didn't have an infection. Why do you even have an infection? Like, it's some things that it's like could be prevented. And like you said, it's like with the doctors, it's like, okay, we're gonna treat you like everybody else instead of saying, hey, we see you as a woman. We see that birthing is can be traumatic, but it can also be more like what to be honest, it can be it's beautiful.
Birth
Like
is
when I was
beautiful.
talking
I
to
say it
you,
all
that's
the
what I
time.
said. When I was talking to you
Birth
earlier, you said it's
is
beautiful.
beautiful. To see
Yeah.
a woman really listen, these birth is absolutely beautiful. And so that's why so when I say the childbirth boot camp and I tell you what you need to do, tell you how to do it, and then when you actually see like they were like I was laying down most of the time. I was asleep most of the time. I was da da da. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, and it was time to have my baby. Like it's never this big dramatic. Um, it's just never that. But going back to being seen, it kind of reminded me that my last person that I worked with, we have to learn how to have our voice in the appointments, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So one of the things that I work with my clients with is actually speaking up for themselves in the visit. So by the time you get to having your babies, you're not afraid to. So like I had one, the last baby she had preeclampsia post on the
Okay.
postpartum side. So that means after she had her baby, her blood pressure started acting up. Right. And that's usually
Mhm.
once again because of deficiencies, because you just lost all this
Mhm.
stuff and now the body's trying to recover. Right.
Yeah.
So then when she had the next one after that one, she was telling the nurse, please make sure you watch, my blood pressure and my protein in my urine.
Yeah.
Right. They told her that her stuff was normal. But she knows better. She knows that you have to read your chart. Y'all got to read. You just got to know what normal is. You
No,
got to know what
read
normal is.
and don't always go to Google and look at they stuff because some of they
No.
stuff be wrong. But anyway, I
But if she
digress from
hadn't been
that.
reading her own charts, she was the one that noticed that her numbers were going up.
Mm.
And she was headed right back into that. But they were telling, if she hadn't checked herself, they was about to send her back home. You know what
Oh
I'm saying?
my
So
gosh.
we have to know how to navigate this system.
Yeah.
They have a script. And so that's why, they have a script.
Yeah.
They are there to give you the information that you feel safe to know that you're safe and your baby's safe, right? So
Mhm.
if they say, okay, yeah, I need to induce you for blah blah blah. All right. So what specific about my chart is concerning?
Yeah.
What's specific about my numbers that what is concerning to you about what I have going on? Because everything for them is general. Okay,
Yeah.
I heard your general statement, but I need you to look at my chart and tell me, do I have it? Oh no, you borderline, you creep. Okay, so I don't have it then. Okay, thank you. Because that's how they'll try to get you to get the diabetic label, gestational diabetes label.
Mm.
They'll say, you're not, they'll tell you don't have a number,
But
but you're borderline. So to
yeah.
be safe, we'll just go ahead and no, what are we talking about? You just said I ain't got it.
Yeah, yeah. That
And
that and that is one of the things I feel like a lot of them will do for sure. Check, like when you say check your numbers. So when you say check your numbers, what numbers do you think people should check?
well, the thing about it is if you're doing any kind of testing, don't just let them say that you're fine. Because when they
Yeah.
print out whatever those my chart results is, it'll tell you what the normal ranges are on that. You need to see the numbers for yourself. You don't like
Mm,
whatever test you're getting done, whatever you open up your my chart, anything that they are looking at, you need to look at. You need to read. You need to understand what's going on with your body. You need to know what they're documenting about you. So don't just go and be like, all right, what was my no, you
it
open it
was
up
okay.
too, and you look at it too, and you know what it was the last time, so you know if it went up or down. Like you need to be invested in your health and your body instead of sitting there and just be like, tell me what I'm supposed to do, tell me what I gotta do. No, no.
Yeah. Because they definitely going to, like you said, tell you and feed you more medicine instead of trying to fix the issue. They're trying to put a band-aid on the issue for sure. So
It just doesn't get to the root. So
yeah.
in pregnancy and in health in general, and we've talked about this in just health general, they make us feel like we don't have any power or control to change or
Mhm.
fix whatever we got going on. They've given me life
Mhm.
sentence stuff. Oh, you got hyperthyroidism.
Mhm.
Okay, why? And then when I looked into it, and I realized I had been working out too much, I hadn't been eating enough protein, my body went into survival mode. Okay, bet.
Mhm.
Give me eight. I told them, give me 8 weeks. Give me 8 weeks. They
They
told me that I
definitely.
was gonna have to have my thyroid removed. They told me I was gonna have to be on medicine for the rest of my life. I
Mhm.
went and I got the ultrasound, and the tech told me, she said, "Yeah, you have a nodule." She said, "But your thyroid is a filter. It's normal to have not nodules in your thyroid." She said, "It's about if you're having symptoms. That's when there's a problem." And I said, "Baby, that was all I needed to hear. That was
And
all
it
I needed to hear."
and it be, and it, to be honest, it be the text that's talking to you that's just like, did you know that's not really, it's not really a problem. And then you start looking for yourself and you like, dang, what she just said. Because most of the time it do be the text that be knowing. I'm not gonna hold y'all. FYI,
Mhm,
those are the ones that's actually really knowledgeable
mhm.
about what's going on with people's bodies. I'm just gonna let you let you know that for a little bit. As look, as a past tech,
No,
I'm just,
seriously,
yeah,
seriously.
yeah.
When she told me that, I was like, "Say less." That's all I needed to hear. And
Mhm.
because I was concerned, because I'm like, I do have a knot in my throat, and so I was concerned about that. But that once she told me, it was like, and it's gone now. But I fixed it with herbs and
Mm.
supplements and changing my diet. So the point is they will give us things even in pregnancy. It's because you're pregnant, or even I've had shrink fibroids in their pregnancy. We've gotten blood pressure fixed in their pregnancy.
Yeah.
I like no, we what you got what going on?
We're gonna
Okay,
work. We're gonna
no,
work
we need to
it.
fix that. No, for sure.
Yeah.
So we
Sheesh.
have a lot more power to fix things. It's just about being accountable and being action based. Like, and the moms that I work with, they have to take ownership of their journey. Most of us out here, we get pregnant and we just be pregnant. We think it's all
Mm,
cute to be doing all these gender reveals and all these extravagant baby showers and all. I'm not in every and they're beautiful, but I'm thinking every time
yeah.
I hope did they not know that this mom needs to be prepared to make it out to space. We are
Yeah.
really, really dying in these spaces. We are really being put in situations that we should not. And 80%, that was another thing going back to being why I'm a doula. When I realized 80% of our deaths could be prevented, 80,
80? That's
80. We talking about somebody's mama, sister, brother, this
sheesh.
is people, cousin,
80?
80,
That's a lot of people because it's not
eight
as like
zero,
50% used to be like that's still
80.
high, but yeah, no,
Well,
we
my
don't.
last one, I was literally sitting in the
Mm-mm.
hospital for 2 weeks being neglected. My mom came up there when she realized the level of neglect that was going on.
Yeah.
She came up there, brought everybody in the room, went off on everybody. I was in there for my blood pressure. She asked her for a blood pressure cuff. Nobody in the hospital could provide a manual blood pressure cuff. Nobody, not the supervisor, nobody. And so my mom's
What?
like, so nobody's prepared to check behind the machine. Like, when was these machines serviced? How old is these machines? And you life and death decisions on the machine, right? So the
Yeah.
next day, they with them actually watching me properly, I had went to get a ultrasound. I'm getting dressed because my family coming. They come running in the room. Lay down. We gotta take you back for a C-section. I'm like, huh? They like, I mean, they about body slam me on the table. My placenta was detaching. My placenta was detaching. If
And
my
they
mom, if my mom had not come up there and advocated for me, and them actually doing their job, I would have sat right
sheesh.
in their hospital. My placenta would
Mm,
have detached. I would have definitely lost my baby, and they would have been in there fighting for my life.
mhm.
And I was
And that
sitting there
is
for 2 weeks.
crazy.
My doctor was a black woman. She would come in and ask the nurse for my blood pressures from the night. They thought
Mhm.
I was asleep.
Bro, she should have checked it herself. Like she could
The
have got
doctor was
the
like, she's in here for high blood pressure. How are you not? She said, I need to make decisions. I can't make decisions
yeah.
without her blood pressure readings. They saw how I was asleep. That's
Man.
why I didn't take my blood pressure throughout the night.
Girl, you better wake her up. Wake her up.
So
Like,
it was like they weren't listening to her orders.
no. Oh
So
no.
that 80 could be very real. Because
Definitely.
all of that would have been neglect.
Yeah.
All of that would have been neglect.
That and that is not something that we want. So knowing your numbers and it should be like shame on y'all for not having a blood cuff. Also, make sure they're the size that you need them to be. Listeners out there, that's the first thing I'm gonna say, because sometimes they be putting you in some
The wrong
childlike
cup. They
ones.
put the wrong cup. They gave me a high blood pressure diagnosis. And so when Keisha took my blood pressure would be fine.
Yeah,
But when
yeah.
Amy took it, it would be elevated. And I'm like, look at Keisha.
Mm-hmm.
Then I noticed that Keisha was using a different cuff. Amy, what
Mm-hmm.
cuff did you use on my arm? No, y'all have
Mm-hmm.
to know how to be
Make
present
sure,
in any spaces.
as they say, make sure it's the right inches because it's like the burgundy one is for a little bit bigger arm. The blue one is like the average arm. Oh, check those numbers out. Make sure you know. First of all, make sure you know your healthcare provider, but also just make sure, like we're talking about, make sure you know your numbers because sometimes your numbers may be elevated, and they say it's the white coat syndrome. I don't
That's
know,
real.
and then they be like, oh, it's the white coat syndrome, and we're gonna do this. Okay, take it at home. Make sure you monitoring your blood pressure at home too, so you can let them know, like, okay, this is what we're seeing here. This is what I'm seeing at the house. But
Exactly. Exactly.
sheesh,
So, and it's really about, once again, being an active participant in your
yeah,
care. Because for
yeah,
for too long we just have been going, and that was a shift. It was a shift because I'm a part of a research project where I'm going to offices for UNC, and I'm the doula voice, and just working with providers and trying to bridge this gap between the doulas and the clients. And I said, y'all sitting here talking about how to connect with
Mm-hmm.
Black birthing women, and you all won't even acknowledge that it is cultural for us to use herbs. Like
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
we were doing something before you all got involved, right?
Yeah.
My motto is we've been doing it since we've been doing it. Since
Mm-hmm.
we've been having sex, we've been having babies. And it was
Mm-hmm.
not this difficult. So what were we doing? And that's kind of what I had to do. I had to go back, take it back to what we were doing.
That's nice.
And
The
so
research is nice, probably though.
if you
Having that
can't,
information.
right, but so it's like if you can't even understand how to connect with Black people, we will sit here acknowledge all the systematic things that have been done to us, and we will say that it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't this long ago. But then you're gonna sit here and tell me to trust the same people that you just said was trying to take me out. Who
And
do
then that's
that?
the thing. And that look, and that's the thing, like now in the news and stuff, like you have people going to the hospitals trying to have a baby, either getting turned away having a baby in the car or something like
And
that.
so, and once
Like,
again, it goes back to knowing how to navigate in these spaces.
yeah.
Because I would say, and this goes back to them not knowing what a laboring woman looks like, right? So my moms are generally very, very calm, right?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I've had to literally tell a nurse she's about to push his baby out. And the nurse was like, no, it's only been this so much time. I'm like, look, she's about to push this baby out. Well, the
Yeah.
last time we checked, and the mom goes, oh, I'm like, okay. Do I need to put some gloves on? That's because they don't
Itch.
know what
Yeah.
a laboring woman looks like that is in control. They want you to be all screaming and all off the hook, asking for epidural. I can't do this. No, help me. My mama's don't be in there acting like that. But you got to know how to navigate. If that mother that was turned away knew how to have a voice in that space, she wouldn't have left that hospital.
Yeah.
She was with
Yeah.
people. They would have spoken up with her. So
Yeah.
spoken up for her. It ain't no way I'd have been at that hospital with a mama and we would have walked out that door.
Yeah. Yeah. Nah.
So that's what I'm saying. We be afraid to even just like really buck against or speak up. That mother knows what she's feeling.
Yeah.
I'm feeling like I got about to push his baby out. But you look too calm. You might I don't think you were how long did you say you've been in labor? See, no, we wouldn't have been having all them conversations. We would not have been having all them. My mom's boot camp. My moms know how to deal with these people. They scared of these people. We ain't never scared. No,
Look,
I'm here.
definitely got to go to this boot camp because
I'm here.
look, listeners, check out the boot camp. We definitely gonna put some information in the follow up and the notes and everything. Check out Latoya's boot camp. It's Earthside Harmony, and actually check her out on Instagram too.
Yes,
Um,
ma'am.
and then so you were talking about your boot camp. How many I like are you gonna have like different
I do.
sessions or what you doing? What you doing?
I generally do in person. I can. It's
Okay.
the in person with mom and dad. I am looking next week at a space to do some group, but I definitely like coming to people. I usually come to the people,
Nice.
and we do it there.
Nice.
But like I've had some of my moms. They made me so proud. This is why I had to do my podcast because I really have to get these stories out here. My
Yes.
birthing experience.
Yes.
They want to tell their stories. They're asking. They want to tell their stories because there's not positive stories out there.
Mhm.
They don't have the time want to talk about their experience around their friends because like they might have been pregnant with friends together and and their friend had this traumatic experience. But then there's like my work was so beautiful. It was like they can't even talk about it. So I'm like, I had to do my podcast. But I've had some of my moms, we've done baby number one together, and I've had them plan to do an unassisted with the next one. That's how much
Oh,
empowerment and like ownership that they gain in this journey. I've had my moms be thugging it. They
jeez.
be like, listen, because it's beautiful. Birth is beautiful. Birth
And
is absolutely beautiful.
then it's like it's crazy because like you see the two angles of it, as I say, on TV or social media, it's like you have the ones, like you said, screaming, acting up, but then you have the ones that's with the doulas, it's like they're calm. They're really, they understand what's going on. I feel like they understand their body too. And I feel like you being in the space that you're in, having a podcast is really powerful because many people don't see that. Like we don't see that on in social media, on TV or anything. So having like the moms actually come and talk and say, "Hey, yeah, like that was a beautiful thing," and actually share their experience. That's like even more way to get like us involved in actually being in our like, let's say, being involved in our pregnancy, not having them be like, "Oh yeah, you need this, yeah, you need that," not be like, "Okay, yeah, I know what my body needs. Like I need
It's
more water
so
or I need
amazing.
this."
It's
So
really amazing
we got it.
when they take to it's amazing to see like that transformation of, you know, when they're first talking to me being, you know, afraid and
Yeah.
worried and anxious and, you know, listening to all their concerns and by getting to the end. And so she was like, "Yeah, I told the doctor, no, I do not want that, and don't ask me again." And and I just was like, "Yeah," like
Yes, yes,
I love to see it transform, and then of course
yes.
keep up with my families, and so to see them on the other side of it, and you know them growing all my babies, and just seeing the wonderful job, and they'll hit me up anytime. They know once when I'm the doula, it's like a lifelong membership. They'll call me
Okay.
like, "Hey, I'm trying to potty train. What I need to do to do?" They like, "You need to do a kid boot camp because I'll
Shit,
be telling them how to get them kids together." Okay, it's
I
a
was
lifelong
getting ready to
membership.
say.
It's a lifelong membership. I love to see it. I love to see it. And they get pregnant again. I'm usually the first person to know, sometimes even for the man.
Look, so we definitely gonna look, listeners, we definitely gonna be on the lookout for Toya's podcast because you could
Yeah,
have both, you know, have a section for kids and have a section for the parents to help
that is
all look,
true.
all things life, all
That
things
is true.
how to maneuver through life because we look, you gotta be heard, definitely, because a lot of the events that you've been having, whether it is look, she does everything, but whether it's for birthing or firearm or just health and motivating people, like like you said, you do have to. One thing she did say, like when me and her met before, was you have to be in control and you have to have that discipline. No matter what, I can say all. Latoya even said, she said, I can say all day you need to be drinking the tea, but are you gonna drink the tea?
Right, right.
Like, you got to want it for
Either you
yourself.
want
But
it or you don't.
yeah,
Either you
yeah,
want it or you
yeah,
don't.
yeah.
And
So
so I love it. I love it. I love
love to share stories like
I
this.
do. I love it. Birth, I see. I'm getting excited just thinking about all the mamas, thinking about their journeys. It gets me excited because it's beautiful to witness the amazing work that the body does. Like we are fearfully and wonderfully made. Our bodies are is amazing. It's really about understanding it, and we just got to do better. We just got to do something different. I just everybody don't need to be induced. Like y'all need to know how to navigate these spaces. Y'all need to understand. Y'all need to know how you have to ask questions. Y'all can't say yes to everything. And that I tell my clients that is even your first step in parenthood. Because when your baby comes
Mm.
out, you already gotta start making decisions about your baby. And you can't, they will make you do all these things. And you be saying, I ain't really want to do that. Well, why did you do it? You
Oh,
don't have, they
man.
cannot make you do anything. They can't make you do anything.
Sheesh.
You say no, they're gonna say it again. You say no again, they're gonna say it one more time. You say no again, they're gonna send one more person in there. They'll repeat it again, and then they're gonna give you something to sign. That's it. That's how it goes. You can say no.
Nah.
You can ask questions. If I and so one of the things I tell my clients to say, if I don't do this now, then what? So
Mm.
whatever they suggesting, if I don't do this now, then what? If
I
they
like
say,
that.
"Oh well, we'll keep monitoring in and bring you back in," and so that's not no emergency. That ain't a problem. If they say, "Oh no, we are really concerned. We're gonna have to bring you in," right? That is something concerning. If
Okay.
it's a concern, they're not gonna give you no options. If it's an emergency, there will be no options.
Look,
They
you got to
will
listen to that
literally,
wording for sure.
the one that I just had, they told her that she needed to be induced. right? She called me. She hired me later in her pregnancy, so we didn't do the whole journey together. But she was like, I really don't want to be induced. She told me the reason why. I'm like, that doesn't that's not no reason to be induced. And I talked her through what she can
Mm-hmm.
do to make sure. I'm like, what do you need to feel safe so that you know that you're okay? Because you don't need to be induced. And they were sitting there and trying to put all this fear in her. They don't want her to have a stillborn, just all these things,
Mm-hmm.
right? But then
Yeah.
when she really is telling them, I am not going to be induced, I am going to go into labor on my own, they literally made it sound like the induction was a suggestion. Like it was just like a recommendation. Like
Oh no, that's
if
not
you,
okay.
and, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's not how they presented it to you. If they talk about
No.
stillborn, they're not saying it like a suggestion. They put
Yeah.
here. You have to know how to navigate this system. So I asked her, I'm like, if you go into your doctor's appointments and you hearing your baby, if that's the information that you need to feel safe to go into labor on, you get the information. If it's getting
Mm-hmm.
an NST, if that's the information that you need to feel safe so that you can go into labor on, tell them you want an NST. I'm like, you can go to the hospital every day and say, I need to see my baby. If
Yeah.
that's the information that you need to feel safe to go into labor on your own. But why are they trying to induce everybody? Y'all have to stop
You're right
saying
about that.
yes to these inductions if it's not medically necessary.
That's
If they say you need to be induced and you say, well, if I don't come, can we just push it back someday? And they say yes, you don't need to be induced.
dang. You right about. Look, now you saying that. You're right. That because if you think about it, as I say, it's a play on words, but still, that lets you know that it's not as important.
It's not important. And then most people don't even know the induction process is 2 to 3 days. You could have been at
You're right.
home
You're right.
and
You're
probably would have
right.
went on in the labor on your own because you ain't got people getting on your nerves. They were trying to
See
induce this mom at 39 weeks.
that? Yeah, yeah. They didn't even be like, can we cook? Let her cook. Let her cook. Okay, let
No.
her cook. Let her cook.
Right. Come on.
Let
So
her,
that's what I'm saying. Like, we got to realize that
please.
you cannot just keep saying yes to everything. We're literally walking ourselves into
Oh, man.
when they call out them risks. So they have desensitized us by commercials for
Mm-hmm.
prescriptions when they say the side effects is you're gonna be pooping on yourself, going to suicidal thoughts. Da, 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 da. They started rattling off, rattling off, rattling off. They desensitize us to hearing those things. But what y'all gotta realize is when y'all hear them talk about the risk, you have to think of it as more likely than not, something on this list is going to happen.
Yeah, yeah,
Versus thinking it is a 1 in a million chance.
yeah.
You have to
There's
look
so
at it as
many.
if some is whatever they're saying, is it worth me risking
Mhm.
something on this list? And
Yeah.
so that's why I say these things are only need to be introduced if they are medically necessary. There is a time I've suggested to a client before to get an epidural because
Yeah.
that was medically necessary to move her forward. I've told a client to get a C-section before. Whatever is you like, but the point is medical. You get them involved when it is medically necessary.
Mhm.
We have to stop thinking like they can save us from this childbirth experience. You got a human coming out your vagina.
That which is it's a child. You know, it's a whole life.
But
Like
it could be a
it's
beautiful
yeah.
experience. One, listen,
Yeah.
my mom's, this is why I got to get these stories out because people are thinking that it has to be this painful,
It's not.
crazy experience, and it's not. And the last one, I kept asking my mom, "Am I snoring?" Yes, I told you it's gonna be snoring at the end. That's what I'm saying. Like it's so beautiful. It's just why I gotta get these stories out.
Gee.
Birth is beautiful. Birth is
Look,
absolutely.
that's why I said I'm like, so we have what was I know last time you were saying that you were like involved in I saw you were involved in like a virtual event. Was it December? It was like December 10th, right? Look, let me I'm gonna show you. for
Oh
our
yes, yes,
listeners.
yes, yes. Triangle doulas of color. So yeah, that's my friend Stakira. She all of these are lovely ladies that I work with. And it was a great opportunity to meet with some people in the community. They were able to ask questions about doulas. And this is definitely a great resource for
Nice.
people in the triangle area. They have meetups, mom meetups once a month, classes as well. So definitely that was a great opportunity to just
That's
connect with some people in the community and just we got to
that's
do better.
great.
And so
Yeah.
the thing I liked about that
Yeah.
too, we had a lot of first time moms that came to this
Oh,
event.
that's
And
fire.
I love first time moms because they love first time moms. If they can get you the first time, look at that good food. I love my babies. See, this is so yeah, I'm a postpartum doula as well. On the postpartum side, I come and take care of you and cook for you real good. My clients are
Ye-
greedy, okay? They're greedy.
Yeah.
They love my food.
Yes. She does cook. Yeah.
They
She's
love my
right.
food.
Look, this is like you said, this is baby too. I remember some of your
That was baby
stories, and
too.
so
That
I'm
was home
like,
births. That and so with her, she's one of my favorites. She's actually one of my faves because she did my boot camp.
nice.
And in the home birth scene, if you don't have to go nowhere, um, like I said, it just makes things flow. So they know that once I came on the scene, if they was in active labor, I would generally have them ready to push in 2 hours, right?
Oh man.
And so when I got there, she's in the tub. And the family talking to her and stuff. And I was like, "Are you comfortable, baby?" She was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Are you
Oh,
ready to work?" She said, "I knew you was gonna say that." But
oh,
honey, we got
she
out. We
loves
got in two
it.
hours. She was ready to push. She was ready to
So,
push. And so we did a next baby. We did a second baby.
so listeners, check out her Instagram. And you have it on Facebook too as well,
I
right?
do. It's Earth Sign
Okay.
Harmony on Facebook as well.
So definitely follow Mama Castro on her Instagram and Facebook. You can get her information from here. Definitely check her out. She be putting in work as you see. Like always, every time, always,
You got me
always,
excited. I love my mamas.
always at the hospital. Like, you know.
So, Mama,
So
I'm glad you pulled that up. If you are in Durham, Mame is a nonprofit organization that provides resources to birthing families of color. They
beautiful.
were doing first foods where every Saturday was giving out produce. Anybody could come by and just get produce. They have programs where they do classes as well. They might have resources for you to get birth support from doulas. So Mame is definitely a
I'm gonna
great
check them
resource
out.
for people who are in Durham.
De- Definitely gonna tag them in here so they can
Okay,
get
yeah.
that information too. And listeners from all over, you're in Durham, North Carolina, or in any triangle area, just follow them and just get the word out because you don't have to be pregnant, but we all
Exactly. You gotta
we
know
all
what's
know
out
somebody
there.
that's pregnant, you
And that's what I
know.
was gonna say too. You can people have questions all the time. You definitely reach out. I can connect you to whatever
For
resources.
sure, for sure. So,
Keep
any
them.
information, check her out on all the socials. So, thank you for joining us today.
Yay!
I thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you.
and giving us the information about your boot camp and everything that you may have coming up. Do you have any other classes or anything you want to
So I am
anybody you
gonna
want
be
to shout
doing a
out?
I'm gonna be doing a doula training.
Okay.
My goal is for our first class to be in the end of February.
Okay.
So the information will definitely be on my website. The boot camps, like I said, people scheduled me to do them in person in a house, but I am in the process of trying to get a space so I can offer some group classes.
Nice, nice. So, listeners, please check that out. And we just want to make sure you show some support, whether it is on fitness or if you need a doula service or anything like that.
I
And
don't think I'll be doing it all.
that's what I said. She do everything. So, say
I am
anything
a
with
trainer though.
staying healthy. That's what I said. Staying healthy. Yeah.
That's see, that's what I say. Like my personal training, all of that stuff, I had to bring into my doula work, and what
Yeah.
has shaped how I do what I do. Is bringing all that knowledge together to
Yes.
create something that is different, and that's what I kept saying to
Yeah.
that mama. It's different over here.
It is.
It's different
It
over
it
here.
is because it's a whole like working with Toya, you definitely will find your whole body changes, your whole outlook changes because your mind is more it's to be honest, it's slower. And it shows you how to eat right, how to take care of your body right, being not stressed out and stuff.
A lot of my moms literally do have lifestyle changes. They'll send me pictures of like their medicine cabinet. They be like, this used to be full of medicine. Now we got like herbs and all of this.
Hmm.
I've had some clients that was dealing with lifelong stuff. She's constant infusions, all of this stuff. Work with me, don't have to do none of that stuff no more. So nah, we changed stuff. We don't.
So, listeners, as we say, so look to conclude this, we change stuff over here. We don't want to see anybody have to go through traumatic births because births are beautiful. So, with that, we want to say thank you for showing up today, and we want to make sure you listen to this episode. It's called "Rooted, Ready, and Radiant." As we took a black dive into Black women's health. So thank you, Toya. I hope you have
Thank
a good
you.
one
Thank
and
you.
follow her. All right. Bye bye. See everybody later. All right. All right.